So look, it's almost 12 a.m. but I just couldn't wait any longer to show you guys this utility that I've been working on, and it's called WIMUtil, which stands for Windows Installation Media Utility. So this video is going to be a live test of the utility. I'm going to test it out, give you a walkthrough of it, and then we'll install Windows inside of a virtual machine as well, just to test that everything is working. So first off, you're going to find a link to the WIMUtil GitHub page in the description of this video, and on the GitHub page, you'll find all the info that you need on how to use this application, but I'm going to quickly show you how to launch it here in the video as well. So you need to open Windows PowerShell or the terminal as admin, and to do that you can just right click on your start button and then select Windows Terminal or PowerShell as admin. Then once that window is open, you can just come over and you can copy this launch command here, then go back to the PowerShell or terminal window, then you can right click and you can press enter, and that's going to launch the script. Now you can choose to keep this window in the background here, or you can just minimize it, but it has to stay open or else the GUI is going to close as well. So at the time of this recording, WIMUtil is a wizard with 4 steps as indicated by the lines down there. So first you need to select the Windows ISO. Now I've got the Windows 11 24H2 ISO file saved on my desktop here, but if you don't have a Windows ISO, you can download either the Windows 10 or Windows 11 ISO file from Microsoft, and clicking on one of these buttons is going to launch your browser and then take you to the corresponding Windows 10 or Windows 11 downloads page, and then you'll just need to download the ISO file. But I've got plenty of videos on this channel showing you exactly how to do that, and in the future I'd like to have direct download links, but for now these download buttons will do. So to get started, I'm going to click on select ISO, then I'm going to select the Windows 11 24H2 ISO. So then you can see the status of what WIMUtil is doing up here. So currently it's copying the files from the mounted ISO file to a directory on your C drive called WIMUtil, and that's going to be the working directory where we're going to create the Windows installation media. Once it's finished, you're going to see that the extraction has been completed, and you can click next to continue. So I'm going to click on next. Then the next screen we have here is to add an answer file. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that I have a project called UnattendedWinstall, and one of the main reasons why I developed WIMUtil is to make it easier for you guys to use UnattendedWinstall. So if you go back to the WIMUtil wizard, you can see we have 2 options. We can either download the latest UnattendedWinstall answer file, or you can select your own file. So you can't do both of these, you only need to choose one, but if you click on select file, that's going to open up a file explorer window, so you can select an autounattend.xml file, and it has to be an autounattend.xml file. It can't be an unattend.xml file because those two serve different purposes. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to download the latest UnattendedWinstall file. So if I click on that, it's going to download and automatically add the latest UnattendedWinstall answer file to the working directory. So if I open up my C drive here, I've got this folder called WIMUtil, and this is the working directory, and you can see all of the ISO files are inside of it, and I've also got the latest UnattendedWinstall answer file. If I double click to open that, you can see it is the UnattendedWinstall answer file. Continuing on with the wizard, now that we've added an autounattended file, we can continue, and you don't have to add an answer file. You can skip both of these steps and then just continue to the next part, which is adding drivers. So at the time of this recording, there's 2 options here, but you can only use the one, which is to extract and add drivers from your current Windows installation. And then something I've planned is to add recommended storage and network drivers, like for Intel Rapid Storage, the VMD drivers, and then Wi-Fi drivers on new laptops. But that is coming soon, and it's not available yet. Now for demonstration purposes, I am going to click on add drivers here. And if I do that, you can see it's exporting my current drivers to the working directory, which is WIMUtil. And then once it's finished, you'll see that the driver export completed successfully. So if we have a look at our working directory here, you can see there's the folder, the WinPE drivers folder, and inside of it, I've got all of these drivers, which is for my current system, which is an AMD system. Now, because I'm going to be using this Windows installation media on a virtual machine, it's not going to be using these drivers and the installation will fail. So I am going to be deleting this folder inside of the working directory, but that's only because the machine I'm going to be installing this on is a virtual machine and it's not going to use the drivers of my main computer, which is what I'm using to create this Windows installation media. So once you've added drivers, you can continue, or if you didn't want to add any drivers, you can also continue. And I'm going to click on next to continue. Then we're going to get to the last part of the wizard, which is to create the new ISO. So here we can finalize the Windows installation media. Now you'll see that the status message up here says that the OS CD image image isn't found and that we need to download it. So if you don't know what this is a tool from Microsoft, and I also mentioned this on the WIMUtil GitHub page. If you click on this link here, it's going to take you to the Microsoft Learn page, and basically this is just a tool which is an operating system compact disk image utility. And to put it simply, it's a utility by Microsoft that you can use to create Windows ISO files, and it's part of the Windows ADK, which is the Windows Assessment and Deployment Kit. So you can also download it from there, but if we go to the WIMUtil GitHub page and we go to the executable assets, you'll see that I've hosted the latest oscdimg.exe file from Microsoft on the GitHub repo here. If it's not found on your PC, you obviously can't create the ISO, so you need to click on get oscdimg, and then it's going to verify the hash values as well as the digital signature to verify that it's from Microsoft. And then once it's ready to be used, you can go ahead and select a location. You can't just click on create ISO. You'll get an error that says you haven't selected a save location yet. So you need to select a location. I'm also going to save it on the desktop, and I'm just going to call this new 24H2 ISO, then click on save. Then you'll see that the location has been selected and we're ready to create the ISO file. I'm going to go ahead and click on create ISO, and then it's going to start creating the ISO file. Now you'll see it's already started up here. So there we have the file, but it will take a while to finish, and you can check the status by going to the terminal window. That's open, and you can see we're already at 85% there. So you'll just wait for this to complete, and then once it's done, you can just minimize this, and then you'll see that your ISO file has been successfully saved at the location that you chose. Then from here, you can exit the utility by either clicking on the close button, or you can just exit it, and it doesn't matter which one you use. If you click on exit, you'll have a cleanup confirmation prompt asking if you want to clean up the working directory to free up space. So the working directory is the one we looked at earlier, which is the WIMUtil folder on your C drive. And I do recommend cleaning it up, because otherwise it's going to take a lot of space on your PC that you're not going to be using anymore. So just to demonstrate this, let's put that to the side. We can keep an eye on the WIMUtil folder there. And if I click on yes, it's going to delete it. And that's also going to free up space on your PC. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to install Windows inside of the virtual machine with this ISO file. So let's go to VMware. I'm going to create a new virtual machine. I'll choose that I will install the operating system later. It's going to be Microsoft Windows, Windows 11. Then I'll just give it a name and choose a save location. I'll just choose a password for the TPM, then click on next. I'll store this virtual disk as a single file. And then I'm just going to customize the hardware and make it a little bit more. Then click on close. Then finish up, and then I'm just going to go and edit the virtual machine. I'm going to choose an ISO image file that I want to boot from. Then I'll select the new 24H2 ISO that we just created. Then click on OK. Then I'm going to power on this virtual machine. I'm going to press any key to boot from the ISO file. And what's going to happen now is this is going to be a UnattendedWinstall installation. So I can already see that the commands are executing. So we'll just go ahead and click on next. I'm just going to skip through these steps here. I won't take up too much time on this. I've done other videos on UnattendedWinstall specifically. This is just a test to see if the new ISO file that we created with the Windows Installation Media utility is actually functional. So we're getting to the 58% mark, and I can see that the UnattendedWinstall script commands is indeed executing, as you can tell by those windows popping up there. Okay, so we've made it to the onboarding phase. I'm just going to skip through all of this. Once again, I've done a few videos on the UnattendedWinstall project itself, so you can go ahead and check out those videos if you want to see more an in-depth explanation of setting up Windows with UnattendedWinstall. So we've made it to the desktop, and now the user customization script is going to launch. And here we can see that the user settings have been applied successfully. Windows Defender is disabled because it's disabled by default. I'll just go ahead and enable it. Why not? And then user account control, I'm just going to leave like that. We'll restart to apply the changes. And then we've made it to the desktop. And this is UnattendedWinstall version 2. 84 processes, and we've got the script shortcut there. Start menu is clean, and then we've only got a few apps installed. So the Windows Installation Media utility indeed did its job, at least at attaching the UnattendedWinstall answer file to the Windows Installation Media and then creating the answer file. I haven't done an install with the extracted drivers yet, but I'm planning on doing that in the next video, where I'm going to be completely formatting and reinstalling Windows on my main computer. And I'm going to take you through that step by step, showing you exactly what I do, the checks I do before formatting. And I hope that video is also going to bring some value to you guys as I go along and share my thought process when I do a clean install of Windows on my main computer. But that's been the live test of WIMUtil, and I hope you guys find some value out of this utility as well as this video. I want to give a special shout out to all of my members on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and my journey. I'll talk to all of you guys soon.